Hello, welcome back again. Thank you once again for watching my video. My name is Mr. Charles Woniken. In today's video, we'll be discussing on cancer-causing food that you and I should avoid eating. And it has been approved by the World Health Organization and as at, and another agency involved, which is the International Agency for Research on Cancer. They are the one that have made, they came up with this research for us to avoid some certain food that is not good in our is not good for our health. But I believe or I know that every system are not the same. Everybody might not carry the same hormones and every other system. But all I know is that these are the food that they have came out with, and they are warning the public that they should avoid eating or consuming this particular meat continuously. They should avoid consuming this meat continuously, because if they keep on consuming it every day and night, definitely if they have cancer in their system, it will trigger or activate the cancer itself. So in that case, in that case, the agency which I have mentioned before, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is they are also partner of World Health Organization. They came out with a report on cancer causing processed meat. I can also call it food because they are also food. They are called cancer causing processed meat. So in that case, why is it like that? They are stating that such meat definitely can cause what we call a colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer. So in that case, why is it called processed meat or processed food? Why is it called like that? Because they came up with an idea, and the idea that they came up with, that we should avoid it because it is these are the food or meat that is causing cancer in our system. If we keep on consuming it every now and then, every minute of the day, every time and seconds we keep on consuming this kind of food or this kind of meat, definitely if we have cancer in our system or in our blood that has not yet been triggered up, definitely those food or those meat will go there and trigger the cells of the cancer. By the time we know, the cancer will just immediately come up. So they are advising the world at large that we should avoid eating this meat. So if you might have been eating it, or if you have ate this food or this meat before you watch this video, and I advise you that you should try as much as to avoid it for your own betterment. So why is it called a processed meat? They have been also stated that the red meat in general publicly cause cancer as well. These people, they came up with an idea that red meat, and which I will discuss this video specifically on red meat. I will make a specific video on this, but this one is specifically on processed meat, a processed meat. So this organization which I have just mentioned before, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, they also come up with this red meat issue, that this red meat, they also added red meat that is also generating cancer in our system. So I will make video on this one specifically. So in that case, why is it called processed meat? It is called processed meat just because it has been preserved. It has been preserved by smoking or sorting or curing or adding chemical preventive, as in preservative, just to use chemical to preserve the meat or to preserve the food, depending on the particular ones. So these are the reasons that they are advising the public, the world at large or as a whole, that they should avoid this food, because if they keep on engaging themselves in eating this type of food, definitely the cancer that is in their system will do what? Trigger. So it is very important that when you are aware of something, you should try as much as you can to avoid it so that you will not have an issue on your health. And which is very important because just as I said, the reason why it is called processed meat is because of the way they preserve it. They preserve it by smoking and as well salting, they add salt and they also caring or adding some chemical to preserve it so that it will last long depending. And what are the food? They include what we call bacon, hot dog, and so many other that I will be mentioning in this processed meat. And this processed meat, as long as you keep on eating this kind of meat or this kind of food, it will increase your cancer risk. It will increase your cancer risk. So in that case, let's first of all take on hot dog. Hot dog is one of the processed meat that the the international agency have already recommended that they should avoid it based on their research. And their research, we all know that it is not a one-day research, it is not a 2 days research. It takes them, if I'm not mistaken, 6 months, sometimes 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, as the case may be, depending. So in that case, they added or they said that hot dogs is also included. And just as I have already said about the process meat, the reason why it is called the processed meat, which I will like to add it more, it is by sorting, fermentation, smoking, and every other process that will enhance the preservation of that food. And those things that they add to it, they are not good in our system. So hot dogs are listed in among of the cancer causing food. Hot dog are listed. It is also listed among of the cancer causing food. So if you are to eat hot dog, I believe that you should know the minimum on how to eat it if you want to eat. But they are advising that when we should try as much as to avoid it so that we will not have cancer problem to ourselves or in our system. So the second one here, which I will also be discussing today, is beef jerky. Beef jerky has been also been listed as a processed meat or processed food, which we should as much as we can to avoid it. And they are listed because they increase the high risk of cancer causing food. They causes cancer in our system. So it is very important. All these things we should try as much as to avoid them so that we will not have cancer. Because if you have cancer and you are eating this food, definitely you are trying to dig your grave early, irrespective of what you think or what you have claimed you are. So once you know all these things and you try as much as you could or you can to avoid all these things, definitely you will not have an issue in cancer pertaining your head. So beef jerky is also among of it, which I just mentioned. So try it as much as you can to avoid it. So the third one here is sausage. Sausage meat or sausage food will, depending on how it is or how it has been presented. Remember that it is also listed among of the processed food that the international agency have already said that we should avoid them completely if we really want to live our life, is because they also work every now and then, and you know that they are all team that is working for the betterment of the world, for the human, just to make us know the kind of food that we should eat and the kind of food that we shouldn't eat, and they are all recognized body as well. So this sausage is also among of the food that has been listed, and they said according to them that each 50 gram portion of the processed eating daily increases the risk of the cancer by 18%. So it depends. So that is the reason why we should try as much as. And can you check when it has increased the cancer by 18% on you? So you will even be asking yourself, how long will you stay on earth? So for you to stay on earth, though it is not by human power or by any other thing, but our lives is also in our hand. We should try avoid once we have already had the information, because the Bible says the days of ignorance God overlook. But when you know that this thing is a problem to you and you are putting your hand there, which means you are the one killing yourself. So these are the food that we should try as much as we can to avoid them, so that we can live long on earth. So another one here is him, which is spelled H-A-N, and it is also listed among of these food that we should also um, avoid. And this one in particularly, it also linked to cause high blood pressure in our life. So for those that are having, you know what high blood pressure is now, so there is no much thing to explain there. So even if I will also be making videos on high blood pressure food that you should also avoid on eating it, this one is also among of the cancer causing food and also high blood pressure causing food that you and I should avoid eating any of them if truly we really want to save our life or preserve our life for the betterment, because there are people that need us, because once they need us, they know that we can provide solution. Most importantly, our family, our children, our fathers and every other members of our family, and also the members of the society as well, they need us. So this kind of meat has been listed among of those things that we should avoid to eat it completely in our life, so that we will be able to live according to the plan of God in our life. So hemp is also among of it. So try as much as you can to avoid eating such meat as well. And remember, there are other ones that I did not also added. For example, salami is also involved in those kind of cancer causing food, and also pepperoni is also involved. They are all cancer causing food. They are under this um, um, processed meat or processed food. So these are the things that I just mentioned. They are also involved. So another one here, which we all need to avoid again, is called canny beef. Canny beef. Canny beef is one of them that the international agency has been listed, and WHO have already approved it because they have seen the evidence and they have approved it, because they are also working with HO and WHO, because they are part of them as well. So these are the ones that they have already listed, which this one is called canny beef. And we all know what it means, and we all have seen it. Some of us have already, we have ate it. They are all under processed meat, which linger to our cancer. Cancer is a very bad sickness, and I believe that with these things that we should try as much as we can to also avoid it. Just remember, just as I promised that I will be also making videos on red meat, because red meat, there are a different kind of red meat that we should also avoid to eat, and which is very important. So this canny beef is also among of the cancer causing food that you and I need to avoid, so that we will live long, just as our heavenly Father has already made it possible for us to live. So if we try as much as we can to avoid eating all these meats or this food that I just mentioned, I believe that by the special grace of God, we will all live to see our children. And I believe you have heard what I said. And please, if you like my content, subscribe to my channel, comment, like, and share. Thank you once again for watching. See you next week.